Hello, my name is Mordred Viking, and I'd like to welcome you to episode 3 of this Let's Play Victoria 2. This is the March of the Vikings, and we are Nytungvik. In the last episode, we fought the war against Siam, which we lost thanks to bloody Indian intervention. They kicked our ass, frankly. I wasn't very careful with my troops. We were fighting in the mountains. I was not expecting that much resistance, because Siam is quite a lot smaller than we are. They're actually 26th. They're ranked one higher than we are. Come on! We have a much bigger military, though. They have more industry. Oh, I could have stolen that from them. Damn it, India! I was not expecting that, and now these guys are massing on my border. That bodes well. So let's move our troops back a little bit. I mean, they will be recovering over time. They do go back up to full strength as they start reinforcing. But I am a little bit concerned about the sheer number of casualties we took there. Oops, you have a black one. Any regiments which have red troops basically means that they're not going to be reinforcing like that guy. The population segment which was allocated to that regiment has depleted. So I need to go through and get rid of any of those troops. We have idealism for more technology. Excellent. Oh man, so many units lost. Not good. Not good at all. Alright, so we have idealism, so we're getting the research points. I think we want Malthusian thought, so we can get more education points, so that we can get our literacy up. Although it's already at 20%, which is a pretty decent increase. We still have too many troops. We can't manage any more. So I think we can just kick back and wait. We're still earning money, somehow. So let's reduce taxes again. I mean, the money that we're losing here in the budget and what we're actually losing seem to have very little in common. I am aware of the fact that I don't have enough people for my factories yet. We need to encourage more craftsmen, so I'm not going to build any more factories until that's actually done. Because it's just not efficient. Siam wants access. Piss off Siam. Right, someone else has declared war on Siam now. India, are you going to like jump in on that one too? You're at war with Chi and Miao. Like, that would be way worse for them to have India than me. Way worse. I bet you don't intervene. I bet you don't intervene now. I bet you don't. And the bad thing for me is it increased infamy for basically no reason. So I'm going to let that tick down a little bit, and then we'll have to try and get another war with someone else. Yeah, we lost like 60,000 people in that fight. Eesh. Horrible. No, I'm not giving you access. Bugger off. Now, see, India's not intervening in these wars. And they're winning easily. I did all the damage, and then they take all the reward off. Ah! I'm not annoyed. I'm very annoyed. I'm very angry. Alright, let's just increase speed, because we're basically just waiting for things to happen, because I need to recover again. We are making a silly amount of money. Let's just go, whoops, wrong way. Reduce taxes even further. And allow our people to buy more luxuries and stuff. No, we are still making money. Let's go down to 70%. Although, what I could do is start building forts. You know what? We're going to do that. We're going to increase your taxes again to 80. And we're going to build a system of forts so we can have our... It'll be much harder for enemies to take our territories. Especially on the borders. Drunken riots, gain militancy, lose consciousness. Militancy is quite high. Which means what? Politics, movements. 32,000 Chansheng nationalists. Yeah, nationalists I think might be an ongoing problem. Chansheng liberation movement. Neo-Kantian idealism, +1 prestige. Good. Like, getting extra prestige is a very easy way of increasing your ranking. So we may well actually want to get some prestige tax. Because higher ranking means more access to resources. Although we don't seem to have that many problems with resources right now. Elections. Malthusian thought. Excellent. That's finished. I think then we'll get positivism and then ideological thought, so we can get the additional max focuses. And then probably start working on the army ones, because we're a little behind in that. Let's get positivism. And then go for the military techs. It'll be kind of interesting to see what our literacy levels are compared to these people. Is there a ledger? There is. Nation ranking. Comparison. Portugal has 100%. Canada, Genoese, Colombia, Aquitaine. Navarrese Company is 91. Mordgard's at 77. Which other major powers? Germany's at 47. Wow, that's pretty low. I think generally literacy will be very low in this world. 21% for us. Wu Dynasty 17. Kosala 11. Qi 8. So we're very technologically advanced compared to those guys. India 8. Miao 6. Champa 5. Siam 4. Siam is the second lowest literacy level. Yom's Vikings are the lowest. Too much study on warfare. Or not enough, depending on how you see it. Opponents and proponents of the military and the armed forces are taking sides for the coming election. While militarists agree that increased tension in the world and arms races between several great powers are reason enough to maintain a strong Nytungvikan military, others are less convinced and set the military expenses as successes on part of the government. We want to promote anti-military, because that is technically liberal. Although if we do get liberal, then I think it will cap our military spending, which means we can't... basically, the more that you spend on things like military spending, education, administration... In fact, education is one that I've rather left behind. Encourages more population to train in those professions. Nationalist officers. The signs have been evident for some time. Whispers can be heard in the barracks grounds, and sometimes, when a Nytungvikan officer enters the room, even the liveliest of conversation seems to die down, as if it had bumped into some immutable hinder. The Nanfaran officer corps in Ningbao is becoming increasingly attracted to the cause of Nanfaran nationalism and separatism, and we can prove it. We have the options of ignoring these things for the time being, or getting rid of some of the more outspoken officers. Get rid of the ringleaders. 50% of all officers are lost. How big is my officer corps? That's pretty large. Lots of officers. Yeah, next time I'm not going to take the military quite so for granted. Oh, fricking India, though. Ah. The intensive election campaigns have reached the boiling point in Nytungvik, where a fierce trade policy debate pits the friends of free trade against the pals of protectionism in a rough and rumble tumble to determine the nature of our nation's traders. Future of our nations. I can't read today. Free traders argue that goods must be allowed to freely cross all borders, while protectionists argue that our nation's fragile industries need protection from the dangerous foreign competition threatening to undo them. Which path will Nytungvik tread, as it decides on free trade or protectionism? We report, you decide. Free trade. 20% more in favour of free trade, and those who are protectionist become more militant. Free trade's already 100%, so free trade. More free trade. Fail to enlist interest. Good. Alright, my armies are growing again at least. Going back up to full strength, though it is taking them some time. Military and defence debate in a local election. Your generals have begun to complain about the bad food the soldiers are getting, and command that more money should be spent on feeding them. The generals argue that the poor diet reduces soldiers' fighting spirit, and want to raise it through better food. These issues have become topics of importance to the many military families in Nytungvik. We want, again, anti-military, so we're going to go... Well, this is pro versus anti. Maybe we should go back on other things, such as soldiers. I don't want them to be too anti, though. We'll do it. We're entirely trying to electioneer here. And I'm running out of money. 27% liberal. I have a feeling that's actually gone backwards. More taxes. Need to pay for the education. There we go. Making money again, I think. 2006, 2008, 2007, 2009, 3000. Yeah, we are. Good. Kind of just got to keep half an eye on the total there. So much up and down, it's crazy. We're still 28th. We're industrializing pretty quickly, which I'm happy with. In fact, let's have a look at our industries. Oh, the capitalists are actually starting to expand our factories as well. Excellent. That makes me very happy. We just need to make sure that we keep focusing craftsmen. You can stop. Let's make sure we get some more in Guangdong. Although Fujian could also use some more. No, we'll do it in Guangdong. Let's spread them out a little bit. And at some point we'll need to make sure we get some more clerks as well. Very important for efficiency. Alright, so we are still getting ships, so they are building super duper slowly. I think probably because we're short on materials here, we need clipper convoys. Clipper convoys do tend to be in rather short demand early on, and then eventually they become in massive demand, and steamer convoys become more in demand. Oh, now we're making more significant amount of money again, but I'm okay, like, just saving up, because I want to make sure we get these forts built where we can. I don't trust my neighbours at all, especially while we have a relatively small military. Yeah, Meow managed to take the territories that I was... Not the direct territories that I was after, but you managed to take Tonkin, which was part of the bit that I wanted. I still want Annan. I'm still going to take it at some point. I can't believe that. Japan intervened against me, but not against them. So irritating. Meow, you're allied with Qi. If I were, theoretically, to go to war with you, would my allies follow? Not right now, because they're in a fight themselves. They have a much bigger army. India is no longer a great power. Who's Mord Viking fighting? Nazarites, again! Nazarites keep on picking on the Fosterland, apparently. Nazarites aren't a great power, are they? I don't think they are. I will double check that. And some more tax efficiency. Excellent. I'm not reading all of the technology events, by the way, because I've read basically all of them in the Prussia game. So if you wish to see what they all say, then pause the game or watch the Prussia playthrough. Just, I've done it before, so I don't really see the point in extending the length of this by doing so. Oh, who's this? Oh, right, those were the rebels. Yeah, okay. Alright, we are once again making money. Let's get some more of these being built. The more construction I order up, the more of those resources we're buying. Some of which will, of course, come from our own economy, though some we will have to buy from elsewhere. So the cement that we're using, for example, will come from our cement factories, which basically is putting money back into the pockets of our investors and our craftsmen, which they can then, in turn, spend on other things. We are very short on dyes. We are very short on... well, everything, really. Positivism. We have some more education efficiency. Excellent. Let's get functionalism. And then I think we're going to go on the army stuff. Or maybe early railroads. Probably should go early railroads, but I want to make sure that we focus education as much as we can, because we want to get these education points going up. And our ranking just keeps on slipping. Stop that. The more the ranking slips, the worse we get. The less trade we get, the less stuff that I can feed into my factories, the weaker we get overall. we should probably spend some time making my armies stronger, more well put together. I'm just so angry about that Siam War still. You can probably tell this is all in the same recording session because I'm now. I want to build more troops, but I can't because we don't have the soldiers for it. Like, our population took a bit of a beating in that. Alright, we have 20,000. Let's go and build some more forts. Like so. Those are all level 1s. You're a level 1. We're building some here. They've already built all of their stuff level 1. In fact, I think most of the people around us have. Interesting. How long does the truce last? 26th of October 1847. Oh, end of this year. Then we can fabricate again, and hopefully we can go after them. This time I will be taking Mordgard with me, I think. Cholera. The defining symptom of cholera is an exhaustive diarrhea, rendering the diseased almost completely incapable of retaining fluid. In severe forms, the disease can cause death within a few days of the first symptoms, making it one of the most rapidly fatal illnesses known to man. Today we received a dispatch from one of our provinces confirming earlier reports that the disease has indeed broken out there. Quarantine. Don't care about the negatives, I don't want it spreading. Spreading cholera is a bad thing. Bad time. Alright. How are we doing for population levels? You have done your job really quite quickly. These focuses are doing a good job in expanding the number of craftsmen we have. And here, let's get some. Marvellous. And I assume the number of capitalists we have are growing as well. Cholera spreads. No. I thought I contained that stuff. Curses. Recovering from that war is going to take a while. Grumble, grumble, grumble. I'm sorry. Alright, you're spending a lot of money on luxuries. In fact, our middle class is making us a small freaking fortune. That will be all the artisans that we have. Apparently there's a lot of demand for their goods still. Which is good. Discriminatory school system. The schools in Hangzhou are heavily geared towards supporting the small Icelandic minority there, and as a result, the non-foreign citizens feel oppressed. While allowing some temporary leniency in these policies can be beneficial to our technological progress, it should also be a seed of a non-foreign revolution and an end of our rule there. Keep them ignorant. We gain a bunch of research points. Not actually that many. It's like a week's worth, maybe. You're suffering attrition. That is unacceptable considering the actual size of my military right now. Oh, that's all one province. I see. Are you happy just chilling here? You are. Okay, that's fine. Of course, Hong Kong's my capital. Haha! Nice. Actually, I should definitely put a fort in Hong Kong. It'd be rather bad if that were to fall. Okay, do we have a fort on all of our borders? No, we do not. Most of them, though. Down here? No, we do not. We'll need to add borders here too. Population is plummeting. Why? Oh, that'll be the cholera, won't it? Ugh. Nasty. was the cholera again? I'm not seeing it. I know it's around. There it is. No, that's beer halls. Complete opposite. Beer halls are fine. Okay, I have no idea whether that was. Never mind. Never mind. Alright, money is piling in again. Let's make sure we have a fort there. And a fort here. You are suffering attrition. Let's spread you out then. And we can get another law through. So at this point, I think that we probably want proportional representation? No. I mean, ultimately I want more voting, but I'm concerned by the fact that the people are more conservative than the actual voters, the voters currently being the wealthy, which includes capitalists and middle class. That actually increases the percentage of rich votes. No, they went more conservative. Kulturkampf. In Zhanjiang, where a protagonist of romantic play, then dark clouds, heralding storms, strife and conflict would be hanging low on the horizon. The conflict between the Yu locals and the Nytungvik minority in Zhanjiang is heating up, and a distressing message has been sent to the government in Hong Kong, pleading for an intervention from the central government. Our options are either to conduct a crackdown on organised Yu groups in the province, or bide our time and hope that the situation resolves itself. No, we're doing the crackdown. Lose a bit of population, but like we're trying to make China Icelandic or Norse China. Come on. Oh no, Conservatives did actually lose a whole bunch. Liberals are now 25%. Reactionaries, okay. And then we have elections again. I don't think we're quite going to be in a position to vote in the Liberals yet, but we're getting closer. The Conservatives are definitely losing ground here. War policy debated in the local election. Opponents and proponents of the military and the armed forces are taking sides in the coming election. More in favour of anti-military. Yes. I produce a lot of timber, that's interesting. And then fabrics, then paper, and then tea, and then glass. Importing wine, timber and coal, exporting paper, tea and regular clothing. Officer insulted. A young boy in Yu boy in Pingle has had to learn the hard way that one does not insult the officers of the Nytungvik army without having its consequences. As he comes to his senses again, he puts a finger to his nose and draws them back, red with blood. The standing army in Pingle is causing a strain on our relation to the locals. We could enforce a stricter code of conduct, but that would cause uproar in the capital. All pops in Hong Kong and Macau gain 3 militancy. They're not the most populous, so reprimand him. He's only a kid. Don't punch kids. Local or state economy. A debate has flared up in the local Nytungvik election about whether the state should interfere or not in local economy. Proponents of state capitalism are arguing that a more direct system of government investment and reinvestment could aid in the long-term development of the local industry. No. More for state capitalism, less for interventionism. We actually want more interventionism because it's closer to free economy. I think. I'm pretty sure that's the way it works. Interventionist, laissez-faire, state capitalist. Yeah, state capitalism is the next one before a planned economy. Okay, so we have all the technology things now. We could get romanticism, which is more prestige, and also prestige text, which would mean that our ranking goes up. We get army, which improves our military. We can get industry, which improves our industrial output. I think I might actually get romanticism. We actually kind of want the prestige. I would also quite like to have medicine so we don't lose as many people in the next war. Let's get romanticism and then medicine, or chemistry, then medicine, then railroad, then military techs, I think. Although I should be focusing more on my military, I think. I'm getting a little bit concerned about my neighbours, especially as the size of my military does not seem to be growing. The election is finished. A coalition of conservatives and reactionaries, but the Liberals were counted for 41% of it this time. So I reckon next election the Liberals will take it. At least that's my hope. Let's keep on expanding the forts. A whole bunch of them still under construction. Ships don't seem to be getting built very quickly at all. And how is the encouraging of craftsmen? You're still working. You're pretty much done, I would say. Let's encourage some here. Although I will need to start doing clerks as well. In fact, I'm going to make you encourage clerks now. Ah, screw it. You as well. More clerks. So then we get the output efficiency. How much land did Genoa lose against Italy? Oh, all of it. Italy is now Italian. Yeah, Italy's grown pretty strong. Portugal, anarcho-liberals, a group of liberals disgruntled with the lack of economic freedom and the pace of parliamentary reform, have formed a new faction in the Portuguese politics. The anarcho-liberals are a revolutionary avant-garde of the liberal ideology. They will not hesitate to use whatever means necessary to see their ideas of freedom and free trade instituted both in Portugal and abroad. So that means the... Nope, they haven't arrived in our country yet. Oh yes, they have. More liberal, less conservative, a little bit of anarcho-liberal. The Radical Party. Full citizenship, pro-military. So we probably do want that. Free trade, laissez-faire, yes. Atheism versus pluralism, don't care. Full citizenship versus limited citizenship. Yeah, we do in fact want Radical Party. So we do still need to promote liberalism. We just need to be more radical about our promotion of liberalism, because that's totally how it works. We are losing money once again. I do not approve of that. Your luxuries have gone down. Why? I guess just the change of money over time. So why is this so different from this? This is what I'm not understanding right now. I guess some of the outgoings aren't actually being spent on something. I assume something along those lines. At least we're not getting the up, down, up, down, up, down constantly anymore. The introduction of a multitude of financial instruments meant not only a smoother flow of capital, but also more tax efficiency. Yay. Right, the factories are producing more cash. We're actually industrializing pretty nicely. I'm happy with that. Guangxi becomes more militant and less conscious. Unfortunate. How do we compare industrially? Wow, Mordgard is 4. Okay. We have a lot more than Nazarids and the Qi. Oh, not a lot more. We have a little bit more than Qi. Mordgard, 400 industry. Navarre's company has dropped off, though. Nazarids, I think, have basically taken their place. Byzantine seem to be more radically industrializing. The Byzantine army is just, what, so massive? And no one's really been competing for us. No one wants my opium, apparently. Right, we can get some more forts going. I think I'll build it there. Gangsao. We have one there already. Alright, yeah, good. That looks fine. Military is stagnant. Industry is mainly the thing where I'm investing right now. So if I check my population, we can see Deselect all of you. And then select you two, and we can see how many clerks we have. So Shouts Out is almost done. The others definitely need to be focusing clerks right now. Sorry, Shoutsu. Apparently virtually all of the craftsmen are Icelanders. Virtually all, not completely all. Okay, that's more prestige gain. We can get realism for even more prestige. And that gives us a chance of getting +5 prestige from those technologies, which would be pretty nice. But I also want basic chemistry in case we go to war. I mean, we're investing a lot into culture here. Oh, biologism. Even more education efficiency. I mean, to be fair, we do need more. Our literacy is still pretty darn low. Fine. Wait, how many research points is that? Okay, that's really expensive compared to the other ones. I might hold off on it. I still want early railroad, I still want basic chemistry. We'll get basic chemistry, it's a cheap one. We'll get some of the earlier techs finished. Because we can just breeze through those, and then we can focus on the later ones. And our armies are once again growing. At least we're starting to get the manpower back. And on that note, we will need to end this episode. So, thank you very much for watching. If you're enjoying the series, then please do hit that like button. If you haven't done so already, then do consider subscribing. And if you have any tips or advice for me, let me know in the comments. If you want to support the channel in other ways, check out the Patreon. And I'll catch you next time. Goodbye.